Oh, nothing. Welcome to another round of yoga with potentially Norbert. He currently is sleeping on the couch, but I'm sure the second he sees me go to the ground, he'll be more than happy to share the love. So, first we're going to do, starting off, good posture, nice and tall. Let us go ahead and think deep breath in, reaching up and behind ourselves, trying to open our shoulders, open our ribs, and open our diaphragm to the deepest breath we can. And then we're going to go ahead and just relax and let that air come out and slowly let ourselves go to the ground. It's okay. We're not trying to force it. We're just thinking nice deep breaths in, reaching up and behind us, opening the chest, opening the shoulders, opening the belly, and then back to the ground nice and easily 4 times. No race. Just focus on really trying to relax to the ground with that air out, and then getting tall, and then back to the ground. We're never in a hurry. Good. And then deep breath in one more time. So now that we've gone through that cycle, nice and easily 4 times, we're going to step towards the front of our mat, and we're going to go ahead and whenever we're ready, we're going to reach with our hands to the ground. So we're going to go ahead and put our hands down into the floor. From there, we're going to go ahead and let our leg lunge behind us. So this knee is purposefully outside of our hands. So from there, we're just going to make his presence known. Yes, and he's sitting on that foot, so it keeps it nice tacked in. So I'm going to think about
Norbert.
Reach behind me, leaning into Norbert so he feels like he's still loved. And then I'm going to open up nice and high. Open up nice and high. And then I'm going to, once again, pet and reassure the Norbert because he constantly needs love and affection. Now, your goal is to go back into a cobra pose. I'm just doing it one-handed, petting the dog. Norbert still exists. I'm not being weird. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and get myself into a downward dog. Norbert, downward dog. Downward dog. Downward dog. Okay, well, you're trying. So we're going to go ahead and breathe into it and relax. And then we're ready. We're going to bring ourselves forward. Bring that leg up to the other side. Yes, Norbs. Yes. Yes, buddy. Yes. And we're going to go ahead, post that arm on through, reaching back, and then opening up nice and tall to the ceiling. Yes. Yes, I will go back to petting you. I will go back to petting you. We're going to go ahead and have those hands on the ground in front of us still. We're going to bring that other leg up. I know. I love you so much, but you need to let me do this. Yes. Yes. Good puppers. Sitting back into that squat, trying to let those heels touch the floor, trying to find those corners and open them up in the hips, open them up in the ankles, open them up in the knees, just breathing into it, owning our positions. And then when we're ready, let's go ahead and stand on up. Stand on up. Oh, and we're going to get all the way up. Yes. And that's 1 time through the cycle. Now we're going to go ahead, Norbs. Daddy's going to go back to the ground doing that lunge again. Okay, Daddy's going to go back to the ground doing that lunge again in a moment. You want to come? You want to join me? Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead. There you go. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. So Daddy's going to go ahead. Reach for that ground again. Yes. Good, Norbs. To the floor. Oh, yes. Do not hit me in the face. Yes, thank you, Norbs. Notice he's helping kick that knee out. Somewhere else. Yes, Norbs. That is. You are.
You're right.
Not helping, but yours a good puppy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Daddy's going to beat himself in that downward dog. Yes. We're starting in that cobra pose. Then he's going to try to do the downward dog. Oh, and you've...
Downward dog. Got it.
Oh, buddy. You are just a special puppy. You are a special puppy. All right. We're going to do standing poses pretty soon because you're being... Oh. Sit. Good. Stay. Good puppy. Good puppy, Norbert. Yes, you are a good puppy. Oh, thank God. breathing on into it. Then we're ready. Let's go ahead. Bring that leg up. Sitting back into it.
It's Muhammad's turn.
He's a good kitty, though. I enjoy his attention. He does not get all pointy side out and snippy.
When does the goat show up for goat yoga?
The goat? Thankfully, we do not have one. And I have no intention of owning one.
Yet. Good source of protein.
Oh, sitting into it, owning our
Oh, that feels good. Seriously.
breathing into it. Good. Good. So take your times through that cycle. No, buddy. One more time on each side. Good. No big hurry. I know, Muhammad, I know. So take your time through that cycle. We're going through it twice fully on each side. And Norbert is back, so I'm going to stick with my standing poses for a little bit. So we're going to go ahead. Yes, Norbs. And when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and meet ourselves in a tree pose. Okay. Now, in order to make this a little more difficult, we can get our foot a little bit higher up on our leg. We can go ahead and extend and reach through as tall as we can. We can go ahead and shut our eyes. We really want to challenge that balance. We're just holding our position, owning our positions. From there, we're going to see the Norbinator is cleaning himself. So we're going to take advantage of this. We're going to go ahead, grab that toe, reaching up nice and high. And then when we're ready, we're going to lever on forward nice and easily into that stretch on our hamstring, breathing on into it, and then releasing, opening them up on that straight line. I'm kicking the wall, so that's as far as I'm going to go. And then when we're ready, bring ourselves on up and meet ourselves in that eagle pose, wherever it meets us at.
What's this called?
Stretch on the hip. It's okay to have to step out, guys. Focus on holding your balance. Focus on holding your position. It's okay. You're not doing it wrong. You're just doing your best, and that's okay.
What is it?
We're hearing you talk in a yoga voice.
So we're going to go ahead and we can stand up. Feel that stretch in that hip as we're owning that position. And then when we're ready, we're going to go ahead and let that leg relax down. And then we're going to pet the dog. We're going to pet the dog. Yes. Yes. Not kicking the dog,
Josie.
petting the dog, but still focusing on that balance. Ain't that right, Norbert? So let's go ahead and step on out. We're going to switch on over to the other leg. Move a little forward so I can get myself to be bent over a little more. So we're going to go ahead and meet ourselves in that tree pose. Pressing through nice and strong, owning our positions. From there, we're going to go ahead and grab that toe, stand ourselves up, and almost fall in the dog, but we're not going to do it because he's a good puppy, isn't he? He's a good puppy. Owning our positions, owning them, keeping that balance, holding ourselves nice and strong, owning that nice, good straight line. Yes, Norms, you are a good puppy. Breathing on through, sitting on through, trying to relax into it, trying to let us stretch it sun out. Oh, hi, Norbs. Hi. As Norbert knocks me over. Yes. Yes, Norbinator. Yes, Norbinator. You is good puppy. Yes, you is. Yes, you is. You is good puppy. Totally natural. Totally natural. Nothing weird about it whatsoever. Opening our postures, and then we're ready. We're going to go ahead and step on out. And then we can go ahead and go back to that first side. Meet ourselves in that tree pose, Norbs. We're going to meet ourselves in that tree pose. And buddy, breathing into it, owning our posture, grabbing that toe, letting it stretch us on through. Oh, then we lost his balance. Bringing ourselves on through, leaning on forward. No, I will not make out with you, Norbert. Owning my position, having myself in that nice straight line. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to go ahead and bring myself on up, relax, and sit back down into that eagle pose without the arms linked across, feeling that stretch in that hip. Yes, Yes. Good boy.
Whew.
And then standing on up. And we can step on out. And one more time. Now through on the other side. So we meet ourselves in that tree pose. Reaching up nice and tall. Breathing on into it. Yes, Norbs. Yes. Thank you for headbutting me. Some more.
Mhm.
Yes, I know. I'm so boring.
Love you so much.
It goes away. Breathing into it. So we're going to lever at the hip. So we're trying to think stretch into that hamstring, trying to keep that knee bent a little bit. We're owning our position, grabbing the floor with our foot. We're going to relax that hand. And now I'm thinking about being on a straight line. So you can see I'm trying to be on the straight line, holding my body as even as I can. And then we're going to bring ourselves back up. Much better job that time, LA. Much better job. We can own that position. Don't get sassy. Now, if you're through your body, when we're in this eagle pose, I'm not able to, so the best that I can do is here, just due to tightness in my shoulder. So then I'm going to go ahead again, get on up with it, stretch into that hip, get into those deep corners, and then let's go ahead and relax ourselves on down. How are we doing, guys?
Good.
Good.
So now we're going to do some variations on the triangle pose. So what I want you guys to go ahead and do is think feet out wide. And the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is just think about relaxing on through, letting ourselves fold to the floor, wherever it meets us at, relaxing our back, relaxing our hamstrings. I'm keeping a straight lock in my legs, but you should give yourself a bend if that's going to feel a bit more comfortable for yourself, or we're just trying to get into the back of those legs. Then we're going to go ahead and bias to the right, breathing into it. And then we're going to go ahead and bias to the left. As always, breathing into it. Return to the center, and then slowly come back up as we try to relax in these postures. And it turns out if you come up quickly, your blood pressure might not like that. And I don't want anybody to go nighty-night. So now our goal is we're going to think about having our arms out to the sides. We're going to think about having our hand trace the instep of our body as we lean to the side, meeting ourselves in a triangle. Breathing into it, owning our posture, really getting into that right leg, coming back on up, breathing into it, and then let's go ahead and go and hit that triangle to the other side. Good. And coming back on up. Take your time on that triangle. If it felt a little easy, try to widen up that stance a little bit more. If you're doing this on a typical yoga mat, you want to turn sideways and keep both your feet on the mat. Unless you know you're flooring, you get pretty good traction with your bare foot, then go ahead and stick over there. So again, taking our time, reaching through that instep, stretching on into it as far as we can, and then bring ourselves back on up nice and easily. And then let's go ahead and alternate to the other side. Good. Taking your time. Honey, would you mind tossing me a pillow? Good. So have some type of pad for this next one. It's going to make things a lot more comfortable for you. So I'm going to put this about midway through on my mat. As it shifts on, it's totally safe, totally. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to step in front. Now I'm going to think about leg up, back, and I'm initially on the 45. So I'm meeting myself in the warrior, owning my position, owning my line. Then from here, I'm going to go ahead and think about, first thing we're going to go ahead and do is actually we'll go down to that instep in this warrior, and then let's press on back into that tightness in the groin and the hamstring. Bring ourselves back into that warrior. From here, let's go ahead and lean back as far as we can, lean back as far as we can, breathing into it. And then we're ready. Let's come back to that neutral position. And now we're going to just pivot this rear foot. So now we're on the straight line. Now we're on the straight line of in that lunge, wherever it's meeting us at. From here, we're gonna make sure our pillow is pretty much right underneath where our kneecap is gonna be going down into, with a good tall posture. So you can think about hands on your hips staying tall, or you can think about reaching up, whichever you feel more comfortable. We're gonna go ahead and then just nice and easily let that rear knee easily come in contact with the ground. So I'm into that hip flexor, nice and tall posture, breathing into it. If I want to put my hands on my thighs to push myself back, that's completely fine, but we're trying to get into this hip flexor. Breathe into it, take our time. When you're ready, you can go ahead and think flatten that toe out, reach a little further, see if you can. Then we're gonna go ahead and try to touch this elbow to this instep of this foot. Now, if you're able to get your elbow to that instep, that's great. I'm not. If you can, try to touch your shoulder to that instep. You can do that. Congratulations, you win. That's pretty much as far as you can go.
I win.
Congratulations, you've won yoga.
Well, I can't help but notice that you don't have your video on, so everything you're saying right now could be a lie.
Oh, I'm taking a picture.
That's multitasking. So let's bring ourselves back up. Let's dig that toe back into the ground. And then when we're ready, let's nice and easily press ourselves back into that warrior, breathing on into it. And now the sobriety check is going to be thinking about coming forward nice and strong and meeting ourselves in that tree pose. Okay, guys. And now let's go ahead. We're going to do the same pattern, only starting from the other side. So let's go ahead. Think about striding back nice and confidently, loading up into that warrior, keeping that knee out, opening that line nice and strong, breathing into it. And then when we're ready, let's go ahead, reach for that instep, press ourselves back into that stretch, and then let that knee come back forward, opening them up on that straight line, breathing into it, and then reaching back. Think about a good breath in each position. Don't be in a hurry. Switching and bringing ourselves so we're on that nice good line. And then when we're ready, we're going to go ahead and nice and easily let ourselves relax all the way till we get to the ground. Breathe on into it, getting that stretch in the hip flexor. Breathing into it, owning our position. Good. Let that rear foot touch. Breathing into it. And then when we're ready, let's go ahead and try to get that elbow to that instep. So yesterday, Ron and I did our heavy squatting, and my legs are freaking Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Nice.
Are quite unhappy with me.
My body's unhappy with me for like being limited to walks and like whatever I can do in my apartment.
A lot of yoga is working on forgiveness, both trying to forgive yourself, others,
Never.
and trying to forgive my hips because they do not lie and they are pissed.
Yeah.
When you're ready, go ahead, stride it back on up, meet ourselves into that warrior. Try not to pay attention to the screaming in your knees. That's just the wonders of squatting. And then when we're ready, let's go ahead, stride on back up, nice and tall. Sobriety check. And meet ourselves in that tree pose.
My feet are too sweaty for yoga.
Good. And when you're ready, step on out.
Woo.
Yeah. Now, typically we go through that cycle again for another 2 or 3 repetitions. We're going to go ahead and move ourselves to my favorite segment, which is yoga on the ground. I currently have no pets around me, so I'm going to take advantage of it while I can. So the way that we're going to go ahead and try and do this is we're going to go from being in a downward dog on one leg, letting it then transition to meeting ourselves in a pigeon pose. And if someone keeps being saucy, we're going to show how to do this on ultra hard mode. So depends on everyone's preferences here. So let's go ahead for our downward dog. We're just going to nice and easily walk ourselves on forward until we get ourselves in a good position. Pressing back in, relaxing that leg to the ground. You can reach for the ceiling if you'd like to, and then we're gonna go ahead and reach up in front of ourselves and meet ourselves in that pigeon, wherever it meets us at. Now, I want you to try to kick your hips out to the side, bias towards that knee, bias towards that hip. Meet it wherever it meets you at. Just think about trying to stretch and relax into it with whatever it gives you. Not trying to punish ourselves. We're trying to own our positions and move mindfully from one position to the other, owning it and relaxing into it. Nice, slow, deep breaths. Own your positions, relax into it.
It hurts good.
Oh yeah. Me and the pigeon pose are good friends. So then, in case somebody gets saucy, we can go ahead and balance on one hand, grab that toe, reach up for the ceiling.
Oh, God. It's like I'm playing Twister with myself.
Yes. That's what yoga is training you for.
Oh.
To be dominant in a game of
We're good. I'm good. It's fine.
Good news is
Good.
the ground will catch you. You do not have far to go.
Yeah. This all wasn't devastating.
Something like that. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry, guys.
No worries.
After you hit that cycle twice on each side, let us move more towards the back of our mat. And go ahead and relax on our haunches. Breathing on into it. When you're ready, you can go ahead and relax back with whatever it gives you. For me, it's not much today. Breathing into it, and then relaxing on forwards with it. Then we're going to meet ourselves in the cat camel. So deep breath in, trying to touch our belly to the floor as we look up. Deep breath out, trying to touch our belly button to our spine. Rounding as hard as we can through that back. And then back on through. Nice and easily for 5 breaths. After we get through that 5 cycle, we're going to go and kick on out nice and easily and let ourselves get into a seated position. So from here, with our seated position, we're going to go ahead and scoot a little bit forward so the internet does not need to see the bulbousness of my posterior. We're going to think about relaxing back into that plow pose, wherever it meets us at, relaxing into it, owning our positions, and then coming on forward and just relaxing into a forward fold. We're going to go ahead and go back into that plow pose. Breathing on into it, owning our positions, and then we're gonna let those feet come out wide. Ooh, legs aren't heavy enough today. And relax on forward, stretching out wide. And then again, on back into the plow pose, breathing on into it. Tucking one leg and letting the other stay straight. Good. And then again, on back nice and easily.
Can I help my hips go back if I want?
What's that?
Can I help my hips go back if I want?
Yeah,
All right.
you're trying to
That's
reach
the-
back behind you.
That's the only way I can get there.
Yeah, well, it turns out it's okay to do a supported plow pose. And holding ourselves up. But typically, if you have your hands over you, that's going to counterbalance to help yourself stay backwards a little bit more. But you just got to have that conversation with your body. Meet it where it meets you. The floor in here is a little unbalanced because we have a mat underneath for a treadmill that's been chopped in pieces. So I keep trying to roll effectively uphill whenever I go up there, so it makes it really hard. So if you have an object, you can purposely put it effectively so it ends somewhere where your upper back's going to be. So that way you can effectively use it to kind of chalk your body over on the other side.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to relax on back, grabbing my feet, and then pulling them on over. And I'm just thinking about being in that happy baby, stretching out my low back. For me, I feel a really good stretch here. Other folks, they're going to have to go ahead and grab underneath and think about tucking on in. I don't get that good of a stretch there just because my mobility, I'm literally compressed on myself. Whereas if I grab my feet, specifically on the outsides, and then think about pulling on over and up high, it winds up the groins, winds up the hamstrings, and it nicely gets in the low back.
What is this pose called?
Breathe on into it. Then we're going to go ahead, let the leg go to the ceiling, and let it come across the body, trying to get our shoulder to stay on the ground, letting it stretch into that low back also. And then we'll go ahead, switch on over to that other side. You come on down and just relaxing on into it. Good. And then just letting ourselves relax on down, arms flat, palms to the ceiling, and just let yourself relax. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Letting ourselves relax on the floor. Feel free to spend a few moments in quiet contemplation, or just focus on simply the act of breathing wherever you feel that the most. It can be in your nose, it can be in your chest, it can be in your stomach, it can be wherever you feel that breath the most. Just focusing on there. As one breath begins, the next breath ends. Just relaxing on into it. Then when you're ready, go ahead and bring yourself back to the room. And that's all we've got for today.